What's up, people? J-Dub here really quickly to let you guys know that the latest episode of Pro Wrestling Talk Radio is up in its entirety on PWFEmpire.com. You can go ahead and click the link down in the description box. Go ahead and check that out. We talked about a ton of stuff on this week's show. Possible Brock Lesnar return to WWE, an injury update for Randy Orton, the big storylines and feuds going on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. We answered back to the huge response we got for last week's episode of PWTR because of that big CM Punk debate, and we got into another CM Punk debate this week. So this show is definitely a must listen, so make sure you go ahead and check it out. In addition to all of that and much more, we also discussed Chris Jericho's huge return to WWE. A lot of the fans are perplexed and don't know what the hell the return was all about. I was one of those fans until I read an article from PWF Empire columnist who goes by the name of The Mad One. This guy has a great mind when it comes to pro wrestling, so we invited him on PWTR to give his insight and his theory on Chris Jericho's return. So that's the clip you guys are about to check out now, and make sure you tune in to Pro Wrestling Talk Radio live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern on PWFEmpire.com. See ya. And we're back with Pro Wrestling Talk Radio. Jay on the hosting panel with David and Charlie. And now I want to welcome to the show our special guest, the Mad One, a columnist from PWFEmpire.com. What's up?
What up, guys? How you feeling?
Doing pretty good. So we had the big return of Chris Jericho. First off, I want to say, what is your little tagline that you have on PWF Empire? You say you don't rise above hate. What do you do?
No, you testing me. I can't remember. What did I say?
I think it's something like you don't rise above hate. You punch people in the face who disagree with you.
Exactly. Cena can learn a lot from me.
Okay, so we want to get started with this whole Chris Jericho thing. You had a pretty interesting take on the situation. What was your take on Chris Jericho coming back to WWE in the way that he did?
I loved it. I think it's going to go down as one of the greatest if they stay true to what they're doing and don't get scared off by everyone on the internet. Like, I don't understand. This is stupid. If they stick to their guns and do what I think they're trying to do, Jericho just swerved the hell out of everyone in wrestling with the video package. Let's go back to Undertaker last year when he came back with that whole thing on the porch and everyone thought it was Sting and all the mystery. Let's go back to that promo. The wrestling world was so excited. They're counting down to when Undertaker comes back. Is it Taker? Is it Sting? Jericho was watching that. He saw how people reacted to that thing. So he's like, let me come back and let's do a crazy video package. Let's do something macabre, and they don't know if it's Taker, if it's Brodus Clay. Is it me? Could it be Brock Lesnar? Could it be Kane before Kane ended up debuting? It's like he got all this hysteria going with this promo. And everyone's saying, what does she mean? What does this mean? In my opinion, it doesn't mean anything. It's just like a swerve. Like, I'm going to get you guys so worked up on something that's meaningless. It's the oldest wrestling trick in the book to create cheap pops, and he did it perfectly. He came back with that promo. She doesn't matter. He doesn't matter. The kids have nothing to do with anything. Jericho comes back, his little sparkly shirt. He gets in the ring, smiles, shakes hands. He's getting all these pops. The same people that he called gelatinous worms a year ago or 2 years ago are now eating out of his hands. He's like, come on. They're getting louder and louder and louder. He's running around, come on, get louder. And these people don't get it. It's like he's making a fool out of all of you for cheering him this loud. This is Chris Jericho. Do you forget who Chris Jericho is? Do you people not know that Chris Jericho is not John Cena? Are you that dumb to think that he would come out and shake your hand?
Yeah, and I think the thing is, basically, Chris Jericho, he gave everybody exactly what they wanted. But it's the thing, like, say if you wanted a piece of cheesecake, but somebody takes the whole damn cheesecake and shoves it in your mouth. Like, he was completely over the top with it, but it all played into his act. Like you basically were talking about in your column on PWF Empire, that he was playing a role, like he was giving people what they wanted, but it was to prove a point at the end of the day.
Exactly. The only thing that could have made it even better if he gave him the Mick Foley city name pop. Now, that would have been awesome. Because that would have been like everything people love to pop off of. And it's like, he just shoved it right down everyone's throat, and everyone's like, and then when he left, everybody's like, what just happened? And the internet is so funny. I've been reading on Facebook, on Twitter, like, oh, it's so stupid, I don't understand it. It had nothing to do with the little girl in the classroom. WWE is so dumb, that's why I can't watch anymore. It's like, really? You're supposed to watch wrestling every week, not just 1 week, then tune back out. If you would have came out and said, yeah, I'm back, I'm going to challenge CM Punk, thanks for the support, or cut a heel promo, everyone will be like, oh, yeah, that was okay. That's what I expected. I knew that was going to happen. You're damned if you're doing, you're damned if you don't with WWE fans, because they want to be spoon-fed, and they don't want to have something that's exciting and creative, because they don't understand it. They don't get it. It's like, enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I think with this, it like challenges a lot of people to think. And with professional wrestling, some people would see it as kind of like lowbrow entertainment. So you don't really expect stuff like this Chris Jericho situation. People don't want to think. They want to watch wrestling and like turn their brains off and, you know, enjoy it just for what it is on the surface. But with this Chris Jericho thing, you do have to look a little deeper. And you said that you think this is like one of the greatest returns that you've seen. What do you think about the WWE fan population as a whole? Do you think they're going to be patient enough to sit back and just watch how this thing plays out? Because I talked about earlier on in the show, I've talked with a lot of wrestling fans. I come into contact with many wrestling fans on a daily basis, and a lot of people are so pissed off by this that they're just calling it quits. They're like throwing their hands up right now.
I don't think they're going to tune out. I don't think the audience is going to grow from this. I don't see anyone saying, "Oh, did you see what Jericho did? He came out and he smiled and was happy." But it may be doing so. I don't see anyone tuning in because of this, like they did with CM Punk after he cut their promo. I don't think it's going to grow from it. But I think the people who are patient and stick with it down the line are going to be like, "Oh my God, you have to order WrestleMania or Royal Rumble because the way this storyline is playing out is something like I've never seen before." Like he can go towards Punk, which is the easy route. He can go towards Undertaker, which would be great if he could end the Undertaker's streak and do so in typical Jericho over-the-top fashion. It's just be patient. I think the fans have to give WWE creative room to spread their wings for the first time, because it's better than watching the stuff they've been putting out for the past 6 months.
Now that Chris Jericho is back in WWE, where do you see him going? Like, who is he going to feud with?
I honestly think the Undertaker. Like, I was thinking about CM Punk, and I was talking about this. Like, yeah, it has to be Punk. It makes so much sense. But I think the big money would probably be the Undertaker. Because with CM Punk, they'll get into a verbal spar. They have a good match. But we've seen it before. We've seen HBK versus Chris Jericho. And this won't live up to that. But with Undertaker, in the shape that he's in physically, who can give him the greatest match at this point in his career? Who can help the Undertaker have a 5-star match? Triple H isn't going to do... We've seen that before. And Kane's not going to...
It's a running gag.
Oh God, Kane! Don't let me get started on Kane. But I think Jericho versus Taker is money in the bank.
All right, well, Mad One, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show today, and I want to just send a message out to everybody who's listening right now. If you don't know who he is, get to know who he is. He has a ton of columns up on PWF Empire. You can go check out the archives of those columns right now. Do you have any idea what your next one is going to be?
I think I'm going to tackle the Brock Lesnar thing. I think I'm going for Brock Lesnar next. So stay tuned. Check on it. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Matt One.
All right, guys.
Pro Wrestling Talk Radio, the show where wrestling fans rate and debate the hottest topics in the world of wrestling in a respectful.
If Mark Henry lost that belt, I would have been pissed, especially this jobber who's randomly carrying around this blue briefcase.
Whoa. Oh my God.
And courteous manner.
Why not have Undertaker versus Kane with the mask on? Come on.
No!
Yes. Yeah.
No. Yeah, absolutely not. How many times do I have to put this in your head? No, bad.
Yeah, you keep bringing it up. No, absolutely not. I mean, buried alive.
It would suck.
So make sure you tune into Pro Wrestling Talk Radio, live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern on PWFEmpire.com for some good, wholesome fun.
This is like Kane's, 4th or 5th return?
But it had the mask in it. It gives him powers.
Who gives a...